Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn, the senior stock market strategist here at VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Then I will be looking for the alert to hit. So you can hear me.
Strategist.
Huh?
What is a strategist?
It's not a strategist, it's a strategist. Listen, that's Joey in the background. He's my producer, chiming in, of course, where he's not supposed to be, because that's what he does. That's just what he does. All right, so Carol, today I probably am going to sing out. Nick, Florida. You didn't spell Florida right. Joey just got on me for not spelling something right, and then I got the nerve to go on to somebody else because they didn't spell something right. Be safe down there. I got a couple of people on my Facebook who posted a lot of rain. Well, I think we're gonna get some of that, but not until next week. So, see the VV Nations coming in. I was just looking up strategist. Really, I figured Mark would. It's the strategist. You got the alert. Okay, so people will start coming in. Excellent. A lot of stuff to talk about today. When we look at the market, Glenn has said for the longest time, yes, I'm talking about myself in the third person. Glenn has talked a lot about not feeling warm and fuzzy, and then finally starting to feel a little bit of warm and fuzzy, and then the market turns around and says, forget your little warm and fuzzy. This is what I'm going to do. I told you a long time ago, I'm tired of messing with this market. The market's going to do what the market's going to do no matter what we think, no matter what I think, no matter what you think, anything. So, and I've said on more than one occasion that I think that this is just not a regular market. It's just, now the alert just hit on my iPad. I just heard it, Joey. So, I sit back and I think about all of the things that are going on in the market and all of, I've got my bubbles. I've talked to you more than not about the bubbles that I think are going on in the market, that are holding the market down. And it is what it is, but my job is, by the use of this VectorVest system, to help to keep you guys on the right side of the market, number one. And number two, to give you some fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish, and I'm going to give you some fish. 80% of the VVC, 20% institution feeling, intuition. 80% VectorVest, 20% intuition. I'm even going to go 90% James and maybe 10% intuition. And I don't call it intuition. I more so call it insight. I don't call it intuition. I call it more so insight. I think that is a better word. I don't want to try to guess at what the market is going to do. And actually, if we look right here at the home page shows us, look at this, all of this yellow, all of this caution, and then the market gets a little bit more bullish. The buy to sell ratio starts to moving. Everybody, the Fed, everybody thinks that the Fed is done cutting for the rest of the year. And I'm on board with that. I think the Fed is done cutting for the rest of the year. We'll see. And then oil. Oil was another play that I liked that finally I had to concede. I don't think it's the right time to be in oil right now. But I got a couple of oil stories today that at least I want to keep on your mind, on your radar. Glenn, you're too focused on the day. The VectorVest composite is up 8% from the bottom, and the Derby traders are up huge based on VectorVest recommendations. I'm up huge on 40 trades since the primary wave and DEW up. And you notice today, Jeff, the alert said one day doesn't make a trend. And, the market is down, and I'm wondering how many out there are panicking. I'm not panicking yet. As a matter of fact, let me go put this in the software. I'm not panicking yet. I do see that we got a down day, but a couple of things that I do want to look at, Jeff. I got a candlestick pattern right here. That could be known as two different things. That could be known as a shooting star. That could also be known as a gravestone doji. I like gravestone doji a little bit more, which could be a possible reversal in the market. So, Jeff, I'm with you. I'm going to always take what the market gives me, but I'm not going to ignore the signs from a technical standpoint on the VectorVest composite. Composite is showing me a possible reversal. We had a line here that was a level of resistance that right now is serving as a level of it was a level of support. It broke through resistance, stayed above resistance. Now more than testing it, breaking through. I breaking through. I'm having. That's what I'm having for tonight. Dinner tonight. Sockeye salmon. Sockeye salmon. I don't know if I've. You know something? I went shopping last. I was just talking to Joey. I went shopping because my wife's out of town. I spent $145 on what I got. I got meat and some sausage and some bacon and a whole bunch of stuff. And Joey said, "That's all, $145." Well, I got me, my wife, one of our daughters, and two grandbabies living with us right now. So I thought I did pretty good with $145. Filled up the freezer, and I'm happy. So we'll see. How much are you guys spending on a weekly basis when you go shopping? That's part of the inflation story. How much are you spending? So I don't know. I don't know. All right. So one day doesn't make a trend. I'm all on board with that. But Jeff, again, I'm looking at a possible reversal from a technical standpoint. All right. I'm looking at, Oscar said you did amazing. Was one day a nice rebound, but now it's going down. So again, Amir, I'm not telling anybody out there to panic. I don't want you to lose sight of the signs that something could be possibly going on. What are we looking for tomorrow? Do we get another down day tomorrow going into the weekend? If that is, then that tells me that there is some confirmation behind this candlestick pattern. For two, you don't want to know. David says, what would you say for one, David? He said for two, I don't want to know. Two people. You're saying for two people you don't want to know. I hear you, David. Then I walk by and Ryan says to me, he says, when you go shopping, after you go shopping, don't you ever feel like you should have just went out to eat? I said, all the time. How do you register for the Tampa conference? Joey, do you have a link? I think it's www.vectorvest.com/Tampa. That's what I think. Joey, can you put a link in there for people who want to attend the Tampa Live? Linda says, great job, 250-ish weekly, but we don't eat out a lot. And I'm on the other side. Even though my wife puts a lot of food in the house, I'd be like, yo, babe, we going out. She's like, we got a freezer full of food. I'm like, all right, fine. You sit here and eat. I'm going out. And then we end up going out. So possibly consolidation. I'm not going to call it consolidation yet. I just see one day. And we're going to go from there. So, Joey, are you still there? I'm going to put this in www.vectorvest.com/Tampa. All right. I think that is the link. Somebody click on it and tell me if that's the link to register for Tampa. All right. With all of that, Roger's saying profit taking. We've had a nice little run up from this bottom. We had the primary wave go up. We had the DEW go up. We had the 3 and the 8 cross. Is this profit taking? I don't know. I think it's just one down day, and a lot of it has to deal with some of the news that I got going on today as well. So here's another news article. I don't think that this is bigly moving the market to the downside, but it's something to keep in mind. Student borrowers tap a new path to loan forgiveness. That's not what we want to see. But you know something? That could become a reality. Anybody agree with that? Anybody agree with that story headline? That could become a reality. And boy, oh boy, you're going to have a lot of people putting themselves in a footlocker. Oh, so you just changed mine, Joey. You just took mine down.
Yeah, yours didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yours wasn't right.
Mine wasn't right. Okay. This is big. And, I always try to find news that people are not talking about. This is going to weigh heavy on the economy. I can't see that any other way. I think that's going to weigh heavy on the economy. It's going to weigh heavy on people screwing up their lives early, because you know how hard it is to get out of bankruptcy, to get back on the right side from an personal economic standpoint. I've never, ever claimed bankruptcy. I've thought about it way early in my life, and I'm glad I didn't. Joe says, reality or not, it's total BS. You think that that's a BS story, Joe? You don't think that that's going to be the case? And it's fine. I always like to have conversations, not about right or wrong, but conversations. I just want you guys to keep that on your radar. All right, just want you to keep that on your radar. Now, you know something? There was another story. The FDIC was planning some sort of special assessment for the bank failures. They scrapped it. All right, they were going to have a meeting, abruptly canceled a planned public meeting at which board members were due to consider approving the collection of bank fees. The collection of bank fees to recover losses from the March failures. I am still of the mindset the March failures are going to pale very small in respect to what's soon to come. I think that a lot of banks are still holding the losses on their books. They don't want to bring them out, but at some point they're going to have to. I've said on more than one occasion that the bank debacle, the other shoe has to fall. We'll see what's going to happen with that. But it was interesting that they were going to have a meeting to think about assessing fees to banks. And then they said, no, we can't do that. Interesting. Student loan interest, if you borrow on your own, is close to 10%. It was less than half of that prior to this potato lit inflation fire. Wow. And Joe, and I'm with you. I am with you in that I think that they should pay their bills, but it ain't up to me. It is up to the people. That's another, it's another rabbit hole I don't want to go through. All right. Student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy courts right now, so they would still have to pay. They would have to change the bankruptcy laws. So you're saying that even if they claim bankruptcy, that they still have to pay? Okay. Glenn, where are the bank's balance sheet that would show that would that show up? You're talking about about them still. I did a story not too long ago on Bank of America, and they didn't file, they didn't file with the losses incurred. They said that right now they got like $1.3 billion in losses. Bank of America can hold that a little longer. A lot of these smaller banks at some point in time are not going to be able to do so. So Fitz, that's it. And when I got a company like Bank of America talking about what their losses are, what do you think on a smaller level the regional banks are? Think about that, right? The VIX is barely moving despite a down day. Interesting. And normally that means people are still greedy. That means people are still more in tune with the market move to the upside more so than the 1 day down, Bill. That's exactly what that means. So the fear is not changing. It's not increasing the fear in the market. And you would think that it would, but it's not. That's because people are still greedy in the fear of missing out and all of those different things. All right. That's what I thought. Student loans are not dischargeable. So the story about claiming bankruptcy, tell you what you're saying in essence, that it's not going to help them if they file bankruptcy. That's what it seems like it sounds like. All right. And that's fine. That's fine. All right, let's go to the next story. And this is probably one of the stocks that's holding the market down today. Walmart falls under full year profit outlook, lands short of expectations. I still have up in my mind about the validity of retail going into Christmas or the holidays. I think that the money that people have been spending all through the summer, putting it on their credit cards are getting maxed. They're not. I honestly don't think that they're going to have the money to make this a fruitful retail year for the holidays. Anybody agree with that? All right, anybody agree with that? I think a lot of the money that was being spent all throughout the summer was put on credit cards. Credit cards are getting maxed out. That whole idea, I don't think, again, this is my insight. I don't think we're going to have a really fruitful retail going into the holiday season. All right. Walmart is the biggest retailer out there. I saw that we did yesterday, Ryan and I did TJX and I did TJ Maxx and Target. Somebody beat earnings. One of them beat earnings and one of them just was going down. I don't know. And I'm very interested to see what the cyber Monday and the Black Friday, how that's going to work out this year. And then, in the stock market, I'm thinking about, do we really get a sustained Santa rally going into the end of the year? All of these things are running around in my mind. A lot of these are running around in my mind. Today feels like a pause instead of a reversal, says Chris. I got you. And again, one day doesn't make a trend. Jazz says, I think Walmart is losing money with the self-checkout. You know something? I keep seeing all of the memes on Facebook. I think that all of us need to put in file for some kind of refund for all of us that go to Walmart and we have to do our own self-checkout. Yep, we doing it, but it is what it is. Credit card bubble soon. Yep, that's one of my bubbles. I keep telling you all about my bubbles. Oil is an inflationary bubble. Banks, as they have to report their losses at some point in time. Credit cards. Commercial real estate is one of my bubbles. China economy is one of my bubbles. And the last one was the government shutdown, but they kicked the can down the road a little bit more. So those are my bubbles. Those are my things that I think is going to keep the market down. All right. Glenn, what's your view on crude oil? I'm glad you asked me that because I'm going to skip the next story. I'll come back to it. Exxon's Payara project starts ahead of schedule. Now, this is a project, Guyana's third offshore oil development on the Stowbrook block, started ahead of schedule. And they're going to have the capacity approximately of 620,000 barrels of oil a day. It's a lot of oil. But it's expected to reach an initial production of approximately 220,000 barrels a day over the first half of the next year as new wells come online. That's a lot of oil. So I like the idea, but if we keep artificially keeping oil prices down, I still think that whole oil thing is rigged. That is not a VectorVest statement. That is a Glenn statement. Oil, the supply is not there, but oil prices are still going down. All right. And I did see somebody posted in here that the government is buying 1.2 million barrels of oil to put back into the strategic oil reserve, which I think is great. Right? I think is great. So I am of the mindset, yes, I'm not bullish on oil now. I'll come up with another time when it's the right time to be in it. Oil should be moving. Oil should be moving. All right, Linda says on CVX MXON and will buy more as it gets cheaper. Be careful dollar cost averaging. You don't want to catch a falling knife. All right, Linda, just be careful. The dividends will go up, and that's a great play on a stock like that. But just be careful trying to catch a falling knife. Exxon is also, I did that story, Jazz, that Exxon is moving into the lithium space as well. That brings me back to the story that I was going to get into prior, which is Chile lithium miner SQM builds inventories even as prices slide. So now that could be looked at from both perspectives. Get a stockpile on lithium. Be ready for when the demand increases. The same thing what Exxon is doing with this rig in Guyana. Go get that oil. Oil may be going down in price, but stockpile it. So I think the both stories together, Exxon and the lithium story together, sort of kind of run hand in hand. Lithium is getting killed. Oil is getting killed. But you know something? When I look at Exxon potentially putting on a lot of barrels of oil a day, it's going to be a good thing. Oil is not rising because it's being shorted. Oil is not rising because we're keeping it artificially. Okay, that's all I'm going to go with. How about this story? Lucid. Lucid's losing $227,000 per car. How does a company like that stay in business? Lucid reported a net loss of and this was yesterday, $630 million in quarter three, translating to over $227,000 loss per vehicle. How does a company like that stay business. Oh, but wait, there's more. Lucid enters the lucrative SUV market with an SUV at 80 grand. These two stories are a dichotomy. Losing $227,000 per car, but getting into the SUV market with a vehicle SUV at $80,000. This is like, what? Then you look at this story and you go, say what? I'm not touching Lucid. All right. And Eugene says Lucid CEO is the most paid CEO. I don't get it. Oh boy, they will lose less money, says Fitz. Come on, Glenn. It's basic. You have to sell less cars to reduce losses. You know, I'm not even going down that path either. I think that's just, well, if we can't lose as much as if we sell less cars. I'm not going for that. But the two stories back to back just gives me more reason to stay away from Lucid at this time. All right. And Mike said, Linda said, Michael says, so now that oil is down, will the government refill the SPR? And again, they need to. They said they were going to do it the last time when it got down to like $75, but they didn't. Well, you better get on the boat this time and get it right, and you need to start filling the SPR now. You need to do that. Hey, real quick before we keep moving, share this link right now. Joey, put the link in the room. We got about 200 people in the room. Let's get more than that. Please take a moment, everybody. Share this link, share the live link on your socials, on your social streams, so that we can get a lot more people in here. I think a lot of people, huh?
Like the video.
I was gonna get to that. Mind your business, man. What? Wow, whatever. By the way, like the video. All right, you happy now, Joey? Does that make you feel warm and fuzzy all over, bro? So we can look at more stocks. Oh, yeah. So today, before I even start to look at stocks, I got to have 100 likes before I even look at stocks today. Palantir tanking. You know something? I like that you put that up there. Tomorrow's video, I came up with my ideas. Tomorrow's video, managing your trades. I think tomorrow is going to be a teaching you how to fish trade video. Because we talk about a lot of these stocks. We talk about Palantir. We talk about SMCI. Talk about NVIDIA. We talk about a lot of stocks. But I think a lot of you are not knowing how to effectively, after we've talked about the stocks on the channel, how to effectively trade the stocks. So I think that I'm gonna do a video like that. And I actually own Palantir again. I own it. After I did the video, I own it. A couple of things I like about Palantir, 3 quarters in a row, they beat earnings. I still think they got to put the big boy pants on and turn a lot of these contracts that they have into tangible money, real money. I think Palantir is a powerhouse. I think for what it does, Palantir is a powerhouse. All right, Ronnie, I'm not taking stocks yet. And I'm not even up to 100 likes yet. So I'm not even looking at your stocks yet, Ronnie. Just hold on to them for me, okay? Another stock that's been rocking and rolling, Lux Urban, company, ticker symbol LUXH. And you know, I had to read more about what it does. It utilizes asset-light business model. Asset-light, a lot less people, that kind of deal. On asset-light. What they do is they lease the buildings, they lease the entire hotel on a long-term basis and rent out hotel rooms in the properties. It leases to do business and vacation travelers through which I think is an awesome deal. Without having to actually own the building, you lease it. This stock was on a rise. It was rocking and rolling. No, they add to it. They're going to get some Alexa in there. Alexa voice experience in select hotels. It's going to be interesting. So you're going to be like, Alexa, turn on my TV. Alexa, flush the toilet. Who's going to let Alexa flush the toilet? I'm going to flush my own toilet. Just saying. Alexa, would it be kind of cool if, Alexa, brush my teeth?
Shut up, you're flushing my toilet over here.
What? I'm not, shut up. You don't have Alexa flushing your toilet.
My toilet's just going crazy.
Whatever. I think that this is going to be interesting, and I think it could bring more curb appeal to the hotel with this experience. You know what it does? Nuh-uh, Sonny. I knew somebody. I was waiting for Mark to say that. I was looking for Mark to say that more than you, Sonny, but you can't do that. No, and Ronnie, you guys are.
No, God, please, no.
Gosh, you guys are going to all get me canceled. Ronnie and Sonny, sigh. All right. I just think that from the perspective of a hotel experience that this might be interesting. Mark says he wasn't going to touch that. He was going to be like MC Hammer. You can't touch this. I don't know. Palantir hit the 40-day MA yet? Don't know. Jersey, I think, do I have Palantir in my, I don't know if I have Palantir in my list today. All right, but if it's a stock that you want to look at, we can look at it, but I got to get to 100 likes. Got to get to 100 likes today. All right, another story. Boeing, you know that Boeing is getting more contracts. How about this? The Southeast Asia fleet will nearly quadruple over the next 20 years. I like them in the aerospace and defense. I did a video on telling you how to trade aerospace and defense. I did the video right after the war in Israel started. But if you're going to actually trade aerospace and defense stocks, they really need to be held long term. Because even though they get the contracts for a lot of these weapon systems and things of that nature, it takes years to develop and then, deliver. So if you're going to be aerospace and defense, it did get a pop because of the Israeli war. It did get a little pop because of the Ukrainian war. But you notice that they all pulled back a little bit as well. If you're going to invest in aerospace and defense, it needs to be a longer-term play. Do you guys agree with that, yes or no? You keep turning on my Alexa. Please don't say her name. I just said Alexa, Lee. You don't want me to say Alexa anymore, Lee? All right, I'm not going to say Alexa anymore, Lee. All right. Wow, Sonny. Oh, my God, Sonny just hit me below the belt. At least Glenn turned someone on. Wow, sigh. Tough crowd today. Boeing management is horrible and difficult to watch. But Jersey guy, they keep getting contracts. They keep getting lucrative contracts. All right. And then I got one more story. I had a stock and it came out of the same vein, unlocking AI investments in healthcare. That's where I came up with the stock RXRX, which is in this story as well. This story came out today. Four more stocks or three other stocks besides RXRX. And RXRX has been a tough stock to play. It has definitely been a tough stock to play. Amazon After Dark, new series based on Alexa. You guys' minds are going all over the place. Is this who we have as subscribers? I'm getting to hear the real y'all. Aviation, Haas, again. I'll look at some stocks. We get to the 100 likes. All right.
Jay just sent a link that's to a Alexa toilet, a smart toilet.
Wow. I'm not ever bringing out stories like that again. Exist. I'm not ever bringing out stories like you guys just went down a crazy rabbit hole. You guys went down a crazy rabbit hole off of that story. I now know, note to self, never bring a story like this to VV Nation. All right, now I know. I still love you, go. I still love all of y'all. All right, let's get into the stocks. We flushed it. Wow. Wow. Anybody's going to come watch the recording of this is going to be, where did Glenn take these folks today? All right, where did Glenn take these folks today? No, or better yet, the real VV Nation showed itself today. That's what it's going to say. Kathy Wood is still buying a ton of RXRX. Listen, it's a tough stock to have been in. I'm going to go to my viewers tab real quick. Here's my stocks from all of the stories. All right, and there it is. Lux Urban Hotels still at the top of the list. This has been and it's still cheap. This is still a cheap play. 49% earnings growth, high CI, high VST, high RT, great upside potential. How many of you are trading this? You know something? LUXH. I am going to have to pick some of that up. Anybody trading Lux Urban Hotels? Type of 1. If you're not, type of 2. I've seen this stock rock and roll. Jeff says, yes, thank you, VV, up 15%. Why is lithium tanking? I think it's a supply thing, Jersey. I think it's a supply thing. I haven't totally looked into it, but I think it is. A lot of people not trading it. Let me show you a little something. Let's go view the stock graph. Let's go take a look at this. All right, put this on a 6-month graph. It ran, it fell, found support, it's running again. I like what they do from a hotel perspective. It's a whole different take on the hotel space. All right. I don't know if they fell because of earnings. Let's go take a look. No, it wasn't an earnings play. I don't know what I'm thinking here. It might have been some profit taking because it's a cheap stock. Cheap stock in the hotel space. Doing it a little different and pushed it up higher. Pulled back down. It's got some room to run again. After earnings, the stock's price has gone up. The volume is there. The RT. I'm thinking about I'm going to take a little piece of this. I'm not going to disagree with you, Bill. I got a profit target. Bill says short lease. I got a profit target of about 578. All right. That's the 6-month high. But you know something, Bill? If it breaks through that, this stock's got some good potential to run up. All right, looks like the similar model to WeWork. Now, WeWork was renting out workspace, but I don't think that there's a shortage. Now, WeWork fell because people weren't going back to work, so people didn't need to rent workspace, offices. And when I look at luxury, Lux Urban hotels, I don't think we're going to run out of the need for hotel spaces. All right, does that make sense? I don't foresee us running out of the need for hotel spaces. So I think Lux Urban Hotels is going to be a lot different than looking at WeWork. Does that make sense, Mark? Do you agree with that? I think it's two different industries, two different setups. All right. But I want you guys, if nothing else, keep your eyes on it and time it. You know, I like Bill said, put a short leash on it. A leash, not a lease, but a leash on it. Keep a short leash on it. And I don't mind it as a play. I do like that the RV is above 1. RS is below 1, makes it more of an aggressive trade. All right, let's go look at the other stocks. Uranium I put on the list because lithium's getting beat up. I still like uranium. Let me graph these all real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Bada bing, bada boom. Put these on 3-month graphs. I'm on my 3/8 setup, I think. My nose is twitching. I feel like bewitched. Da-dun, 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 dun, da-da-da-da. How many people remember Bewitched? Samantha Stevens. That's right, Samantha Stevens. How many of you? Just type a 1 if you remember Bewitched. All right, so we already looked at LUXH. Wow, look at uranium. Even if lithium is getting beat up, I still like uranium. And this is the ETF. This is the ETF for uranium. Beautiful looking equity curve. In a little bit of a channel, I'd love to see it break out of the 3-month high. Now, there's the lithium. SQM. Not a good place. And the dividends are falling. I may have to do a story on why lithium is on the decline right now. I got to do a little research. I'll try to find out. Gladys Kravitz. Oh, Gladys. Wasn't that her mama? Wasn't that Darren's mother-in-law? Wasn't that it? Let's go. Where'd you do it with my mouse? There it is. Joey's messing around with stuff. All right. Walmart, big move to the downside after earnings. And I think that was the neighbor, the nosy neighbor. That was the nosy neighbor. She was always over there. Okay. Let's go. Walmart, I think, is pulling heavy on the market today. There's another lithium play. Still no. Now, this is one of the drug stocks like RXRX. This is EAXI, Excentia. I don't like the volume. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oops, all the way. Let me unzoom in some more. The volume is okay. I still like the stocks. Anything that's got attaching itself to AI, I like, especially in the medical field. So RXRX is still a tough play, but EXAI in a little bit of a channel right at a level of resistance of $6.08, so still relatively inexpensive. There's the ExxonMobil. All right, so they're getting into the lithium space, but they also got this oil project that's starting up ahead of schedule. I think that if they do hit a lot of oil and start producing, I think Exxon starts to go up. All right, and you said you buy more as it gets cheaper. Just be careful because you don't know how low is low. I don't want you to try to catch a falling knife. If you're in it and you like the dividends, I don't know if I would add more, but that's your decision. Boeing, look at that. When was the October 7th was when the war started? Look at that pullback, but look at that rebound. Anything in the aerospace and defense space, any stocks in that space, you need to hold them on. You need to hold on to them longer. Right? They will pay dividends along the way. Not specific dividends, but dividends along the way as far as moving up. All right. This is another one of those AI biomedical stocks, RLAY. I don't know if I feel that so much. Let's put this on a 3-month. It did break out of the downtrend. There's the downtrend. It did break out of the downtrend and start moving up, moving a little sideways. Down day today. I wouldn't take it today. RXRX, after I started talking about it and I liked it, it's been a tough stock. Now notice that when it did start to go up, there's a lot of people feeling the same way I feel. A lot of volume. Move this over a little bit. When it did go up, it went up on really good volume. Pulled back today. The 3D8 are still in play, and it's still above my 20-day. So trend is still in play. One day doesn't make a trend. One day doesn't make a trend. Lucid. Man, I don't know. Can anybody explain to me how Lucid losing $250,000 per car is still in business? I want to know. All right? I want to know. Can anybody help a brother out? I want to know. I don't know how that happens. If that was my company, CEO would be gone. Right? The CEO would be gone. I'm going to write down METC. Joey, did we get 100 likes yet? Are we there? Subsidy without tax dollars. Is that what it is, Ronnie? Creative financing.
83.
We got 83. Okay. Linda says, I got nothing. I don't know how a company. Let's go put this on a 6-month graph. It's my mouse. Let's go put this on a 6-month graph. I don't see it. They have a lot of backing from Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia's got a lot of money. Are they going to keep dumping money into a company that keeps losing? ARK bought a ton of RXRX, says Roger. I'm not ready to touch it. I like the idea behind it, AI behind medical stuff. I don't want to put you in a stock that's just going down and hope and pray for it to go back up. Read my earlier comment. It's not uncommon for new companies. I don't want it. And I'm not, whether the news is good, bad, or indifferent, until the graph can show me different, I don't want it. Yes, the Saudis appeared committed to Lucid. I don't want it. What happened to TIO? It's another company that got beat up. A lot of companies get hot, and after they get hot, they become not hot. It happens time and time again. Happens. R&D investors with deep pockets, says Sonny. Listen, any car that you produce and it's losing you $250,000, something ain't right. I don't care how deep your pockets are. Last stock in here is another AI medical related stock, RENB. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. RENB, not for me. It's going down tentally. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. All right. That was for you, Carol. It's testing a level of support sitting at $2.64, but a lot more down than anything. I thought the Saudis like Rivian. And maybe, Linda, it could be. But I look at Rivian. I don't care. No, Amazon and Ford got into the Rivian play. And then Ford pulled out. Amazon is still in it. Amazon still holds a stake and Rivian. It's Rivian. When they came out, they were backed by Amazon and Ford. All right, so there's my stocks. If I'm looking at what I like from the list, the top two, I really am going to think about picking up some luxury urban hotels. I'm already playing uranium. I still think that no matter what goes on, I like uranium. TO's been halted for 3 days. Really? Are they getting bought? Glenn is auditioning for Laughing. No, I'm not. That's another old show. Holy smokes. How old are you? That was a long time ago. How valid is this article? So James says, listen, that's why I look at the articles, but I also look at the VectorVest system. So I can tell if it's news or noise. Does that make sense? Who just asked me that? Does that make sense, James? A lot of news that's out there is noise. I use the VectorVest system to differentiate between. Lucid does have one very loyal customer, the government of Saudi Arabia, which in August reaffirmed a commitment to buy up to 100,000 of its vehicles over the next decade. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. Mark says LUXH only has 20 properties in their website in 5 cities. So, with this Alexa thing, does that help them to grow? Just interested. And remember, they're leasing these properties, Mark. I love the idea. That's not a whole lot of outlay of cash. I like what they're doing, and I think that maybe this gets them into more properties across more cities. All right. So those are my news article stories. I would tell you to keep your eyes on the top 2. All right. That's where I would keep my and they happen to be the only 2 stocks that are buys. What else do I want? Oh, I'm going to give you some fish today. Cherry picking MPI. I got 5 stocks for you. All right. Let's go look at their graphs. Let's go look at their show. Here's the fish. Amir, you listening? Here's my fish I'm giving you. Let's go look at the near perfect indicator setup. 10 more likes, please. Want to go fishing? There you go. I just need 10 more likes. Sorry, 10 more likes. T-Mobile, nicely moving up. By way of, look at that. By way of the near perfect indicator, it's had trend. Even on the pullbacks, it's held trend. And I like the entry now over the last 3 days. Another fish I'm going to give to you. How about DAKT? Oh, man, I like the move. Big. Now, that's a shooting star. Let's go see if we get followed through after today. But I do like that it's trendy. And I do like the entry. But I would keep my eyes on this trade because it could be a possible reversal. I would keep my eye on that trade. EU, mining uranium. Another uranium stock. All right. Bad wick on DAKT. Yeah, I just talked about that, didn't I? Right? I just talked about that. Yeah. All right. Another uranium play. I like it. I feel like El DeBarge. Ooh, and I like it. You send chills down my spine every time I take one look at you. Yeah, I like that play. So not only do I like uranium as an industry as a whole, but I like here's an individual stock for you to keep your eyes on. Google, lot of volatility back and forth. Here's a gap, faded the gap, entry point. Could be if you don't like volatility on stocks, I wouldn't take this. All right, but I do like the move coming up off of that level of not a pristine hammer, but a hammer nonetheless, and moving up. And it's one of my Magnificent 7 as well, right? First, solar energy has gotten killed. Could this be an early entry for FSLR? No trend, but early entry by way of RT. I'd like to see the trend come into place, but I want you to keep this on your radar. All right, clean energy is not a good place. I hear you, Lee. I hear you. And a lot of clean energy stocks are going to look like this, but could this be setting up as an early entry? Compare the QQQ to MGK, different percent. Why am I comparing it? Why? Different percentage of almost the same stocks, but MGK is up today and the QQQ. I don't even know what MGK is. We'll find out. Your 8 AI stocks and bulls are doing okay today. Brenda, I'm gonna talk about that real quick. All right, let me do that real quick. Portfolios. I told you I wanted to start eating my own cooking. Remember the first video I did was Mag 7 plus 2 stocks. If you saw that video, type of 1. You saw that was Mag 7 plus 2 ETFs. See, I did it on the 7th, so I set up this portfolio. Here they are. Here's my plus 2 AIQ and FNGU. All right, 4.97 on the day that I did that video. Not half bad. Let's go look at the Magnificent 7. I put that on play after we got the Greenlight Buyer RT kicker. All right, it's up about 0.1%. I'll take that over the last 2 days. The market pulled down today, but you know something? They're making a little bit of money today. And then I did the inexpensive version. I did the cheap version of Magnificent 7. Not as good. But again, only 2 days into the campaign. Only 2 days into and this is looking at the single ETFs on all of the stocks from the Magnificent 7. And then what else did I want to look at? Oh, my high CI. See how that's working out. High CI stocks, I did a video on that, and people were bitch moaning and complaining about it. It was done about 14 days. It's up about 1%. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So I don't mind doing this for the live stream, showing about some of the videos that we've done. And if they don't do well, I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it. All right? I'm going to own it. So you want to see the mobile app stuff? Come join me tomorrow live on the mobile app coaching. All right, I'll show you what those portfolios. Why is your video blurry now? Lee, what you need to do is probably go to the bottom. Go to the bottom of the video that you're looking at right now. You're going to see like a little cog, a little machine part. Click on it, and you can help that look better. All right. Lost too much money on ALB and First Solar. I hear you. And again, on the First Solar, I'm giving that to you as a possibility of an early entry. But you'll notice that on the NPI graph, there was no trend yet. What time is it? 2:47. Did we get our 100? No, we need 3 more. All right. So I'm just going to keep on talking. Midas Touch. I got a few Midas Touch stocks for you. All right, a few Midas Touch. I got 5 stocks for you here as well. Let's grab them. All right, and let's go change this layout to I got the Midas Touch. Everything I touch turns to gold. Oh, baby. There it is. Midas Touch. GNE. I like the move. All right, and by a different signal or system to be able to find stocks and cherry pick stocks. LRN, look at that. Nicely moving bottom left, top right. Look at that gap, never got filled. A little bit of sideways move now. We got 100. There we go. I got your stocks then. All right. And this is another fish I'm giving to you. Another fish, NRG, utility electric. Man, look at some of these stocks that Glenn is picking out for you. UNH, I think, is a powerhouse stock. Don't put the stocks in yet. Oh, my gosh. You guys said, all right, we got 100. Here's my stocks. I'm not ready for your stocks yet. ENPH. Stop typing it in the room because now I'm going to start writing them down. Stop writing. Stop putting them into the room. Oh, my gosh. You folks don't listen. That's fine. I'm going to ignore you right now. I like UNH. Powerful stock. Sitting in one of the most powerful in healthcare, by the way. Sitting in a channel. But even from a Midas Touch perspective, I would keep my eye on it. All right. And Jeff, I got something for you for the VST newbies. LFMD, that sounds like LMFAO. Is that what it is? Something like that? I can't say that. Can I say that, Joey? Anyway, I like the move. Bottom left, top right, by way of the Midas Touch looks good. You wanted to know about top VST newbies? That's my weekly theme today. Top VST newcomers. Ta-da! I got 4 of them for the newbies. VST newbies, I got, what did I get? There you go. AMPH is in there. NAPCO, I don't have NAPCO, but I ran it today, Jeff. Here's my VST newbies. I got 2 out of the 3 that you have. All right, let's go graph these and let's go put these on a regular VectorVest simple graph. All right, VectorVest simple. Oh, and let's go put this on 3-month graph. True VectorVest simple. RMBS, I wouldn't buy it yet. The stock Prices have moved down for 2 days in a row. Wow. BLD, top VST newcomer. I like the move. It's not a cheap stock, but I like the move. I'm giving you some more fish. Look at that. Pulte Home, Ryan talked about it yesterday. It is now one of the top VST newcomers. AMPH, I like. I wouldn't buy it today. Big red bar. I wouldn't buy it today, but I love the earnings per share, and I like the RT, just not today. All right, Jeff. So I had you covered for that. That was one of my things I was going to look at. It was one of the things I want to look at. I want a big fish to make big money. Listen, I'm giving you a lot of fish, Amir. I can't guarantee that any of these are going to be huge, right? But I'm giving you the stocks to keep your eyes on. Right? I'm doing that. All right, now we can look at your stocks. Let's go. Is it customer picks? All right, I got some of them written down. MTC, I'm a TO, I'm a EMPH, I'm a VSCO, I'm a STNE, I'm a URG, I'm a LDOS, I'm a CPB. I think I need one more. Blink. Amir, you need a big lure to catch a big fish. 9. So let's go put in RX. So for all you guys is like, well, I gave you stocks earlier. Nope. I don't want them until I ask you for them. I don't want them until I ask you for them. Right? I just put AVAV. You did ask about that earlier. AVAV. All right. CCJ, another uranium stock. Yes. I'm a big fan of CCJ. I think that's normally, when you look at uranium stocks, it's one of the top, if not the top stock in there. Now, notice that all of the stocks that you gave me, majority of them are going down. But that makes sense as the market is going down today. 80% of the market runs with the direction of the market. What's going up? STME, URG, and Campbell Soup. Who gave me Campbell Soup? Why do I have Campbell Soup? That's up today. Let's go take a look at the stocks. Why? Good. That's why, because it's good. Mark says, Glenn, appreciate your patience. No, I love you guys to death, and this is what I'm here for. Good, googly, muggly. STME. This is an earnings play a couple of days ago. Nice, still moving high. Watch the wicks at the top of these candles. That's some selling pressure. That's some big selling pressure. It is at a new 3-month high, but watch the wicks. If you're trading this or you're holding this, just be careful. The earnings, RT, all that stuff looks good. It's a buy recommendation. Just be careful. Just be careful. All right. URG in the uranium space in a channel. It's definitely in a channel. I'd like to see it break above this level of $1.68. Once it does that and uranium is moving, I think that this is a good play. Watch RT though. Actually don't. That's going to make sense because the stock is moving sideways. I'm okay with that. All right, but I'd really like to see it take out that level. If you own it, leave it alone. If you own it, this is your get out spot sitting at about $1.34. All right, sitting at $1.34. All right, let's go to the next one. Campbell. Was that an earnings play? No. Why am I looking at Campbell? Sorry. Well, because it's good. Let's go. Let me go show you this channel. Eyeball this channel. Nice up day today. I don't know what news is bringing it up today. Nice up candle today. RT did go back above 1. I needed to get out of its own way. I needed to get above this level of 41.58. What does the wick at the bottom of the candle? The wick at the bottom of a candle, like here, shows me buying pressure. Pushing the body up, but that shows me buying pressure. This shows me selling pressure. Does that help you, Bobby? That's buying pressure, pushing the candle up. That's selling pressure, pushing the candle down. This has no wick either way. Nice open candle trading at session highs, but I needed to get out of its own way before I would consider. All right. Talking about that. Dang it. Let's go look at the other stocks that you gave me. Go peep them out. Blink charging goes along with the EV space. View the stock graph. Let's go change my graph layout though. I'm gonna put this on my trade, on my swing trade. Where is it? Swing. There we go. Put it on 3-month graph. There's gonna be the 20-day exponential moving average and earnings and dividends. I like the move on Blink, but it could be getting tired right here. I got a little bit of a spinning top. Let's go see what happens with tomorrow. It did move enough to become a buy recommendation. Again, I don't know what the news is on it. I'm a little leery. I need the stock's price to continue moving higher. I do like the breakout coming off of support and moving up for 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. I just be careful today. AVAV, aerospace, I like the move. $125 the earnings. The company, most companies in the aerospace and defense make money. All right, the earnings normally look good on stocks there. RT, bro, crossing green bar coming on CPB. Hold on, let me go back to CP. Oh, I already looked at it. I have to come back to it. What stock were we on? We were on AVAV. Slow, steady move up too. Not a whole bunch of gangbusters. All right, drone maker. All right, and drones are playing a heavy role in the war in Israel and in Ukraine. I love the move on it. Slow and steady. Down for 2 days. If you don't own it, I'd wait to see if it bounces off this level of support of 123.84. If it does bounce, then that would be a good entry opportunity. All right, let's go. It's moving up after moving down. It's moving on up to the east side after earnings too, to that deluxe apartment in the sky. It's, beans don't burn in the kitchen and something don't burn on the grill. And then the other words I really don't know, but you got to get up that hill. Now you're up in the big leagues. Look at that, getting your turn at bat. As long as we're living, you and me, baby. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's moving on up. I wouldn't buy it today because it's a down. Fitz is sighing. I'm sorry, Fitz. I didn't sing it. I rapped it. Yeah. The beans don't burn in the kitchen. And something don't burn on the grill. All right, so I rapped it instead.
The fish don't fry in the kitchen.
Oh, the fish don't fry in the kitchen? And the beans don't burn. And the beans don't burn on the grill. Yeah, same thing. Paul said it too. All right. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Joey. The fish don't fry on the grill. All right. Anyway, new 3-month high. Big wick at the top, a little selling pressure and a down day. If you own it, leave it alone. If you don't, I'd wait to see if it goes up higher. Now I have to listen to that song. Thanks, Glenn. There you go, John. That's what I'm here for. All right, next one. ENPH is a stock that I love. ENPH is a stock that I love, but it just keeps getting smoked like a pound of bacon. Look at that. 2 gap downs that haven't been, 1 gap that's getting filled. ENPH is a solid company. RVRS tend to always be above 1. I ain't got nothing. I got to let the stock talk to me. As my guitar gently weeps, as the stock gently weeps. Oh, that's what I got going on right here. Sigh. All right, next one. URG, or uranium stock. We already looked at that. VSCO, Victoria's Secret. Does anybody know what Victoria's Secret is? Joey, do you know what Victoria's Secret? Did she ever tell you?
She did not tell me.
She didn't tell you?
No. She told me not to tell you.
Dang. I'm your boy. You're not going to tell me what Victoria's Secret is? Sigh. All right. Anyway, look at the earnings. That's the story of a stock named Victoria, who was trying to bring up the stock on her own. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, his youngest one. Bras and panties. I know. Angels, baby. All right. ENPH earnings drop. I know, Mark. Same is going on with Victoria's Secret. The earnings, they're just not making money. They're not selling enough bras and panties. No. Because you can go to Walmart and get them cheaper. That's all I got to say about that. T.O. Man, you remember when T.O. was hot? And then it's not hot no more. And the earnings are all over the place. Indicative of this. All over the place. Man, do they play monthly earnings? What is that date? 8/10? 8/20? Wow. What? How many times they what? How are their earnings that close? What's up with was this some special stuff going on right here? Anybody? Was that some special stuff going on right here? Let me see. I got splits. I got splits on. That looks like some serious earnings. Nobody puts out earnings that fast. TO experienced substantial growth last year with revenue growth rate of 162%. The SEC doesn't trust them. Okay. Something ain't right there. All right, let's go to the next stock. Put this back on 6 month. That's the stock I like. Now, interesting. It just went above the 20. It just went above the 20 exponential moving average. Could this be the time to get it? Today I wouldn't because it's down day. Could this be telling you something? Anybody own RX because I asked you? Hindenburg was on RX. What was the Hindenburg on? Was RX a Hindenburg report? If that's the case, then that's why it got smoked. Was RX a Hindenburg report? I don't like them. They just kill stocks. But they have the right to do it. I heard that they overproduce power inverters, need to wait until the inventory is cleared for EMPH. Thank you, Michael. Hindenburg was on TO. All right. So that's what happened with TO. Thank you. You know something? I've done a couple of stories on Hindenburg reports. I don't, you know what I don't like? That they get into the stock to sell it short before they release the story. That I don't think is cool. Do you agree with me on that? Yes or no? It's one thing to have that kind of influence over the stock, but for you to get into the stock prior to putting the story out is unfair. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? And they do that. And that's what I don't like about them. All right. I am looking at this 20-day exponential. And I'm going to keep my eye on that. Maybe be a new possibility to get back in on. Ooh. Who gave me? You said something about MTC. Was it METC? It might have been METC. Let me add new. I think that was what it was. METC. Was that it? Energy Coal 3. It was moving up and then it stopped. Earnings look good, but yeah, I wouldn't take it now. A little bit of a shooting star. Shooting star followed through. A little bit of a hanging man too. Shows more of a downside. Bill says it's corrupt doing that. Ronnie says it's insider. This is not a new thing. Congress does this on the. I agree, Ronnie. I not that I agree with none of this stuff. I just think it's wrong. All of it. METC discovered a huge rare earth in USA. Well, it ain't enough. It ain't enough to push. Let me go see if I can find the news. It ain't enough to push the stock price higher. Ooh-wee. Let me go see. Yorktown reduces stake. A 2 million coal mine that might hold. 7 days ago. There it is. There's the story. Continue reading. A discovery outside 12 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. He thought the mine, several years after asking, blah, 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 blah. Recently started extracting larger samples for more analysis. If the project proceeds as intended, it would be the first new rare earths mine in the U.S. since 1952. Ooh. I got to write that down. Did anybody else know that? Did anybody else hear this story? METC. That was Jersey Guy. Anybody else besides Jersey Guy heard this story? It's not enough to pull this, and that was 7 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after the story broke, it took off. After the story took, but fundamentally the stock's not sound. It does have an RT of 1. They're not growing their earnings. So from a VectorVest perspective, I'm not sure I like it, Jersey. I like the story a lot, but it doesn't seem to have garnered enough face space for people to say, ooh, this might. So I'm writing it down. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to write that down and keep my eye on it. All right. Where do I want to go from here? I think I'm done. We did get to look at your stocks. So I am going to keep my eye on METC. And actually, Jersey guy, I may look into it deeper. I may do a video on it. I may do a 6 p.m. video on it. I like that story. But let's go see if it can bring some fruit. Integrate the processing of rare earth metal is not set up yet. I want to look into this. Yeah, James says METC will take time like aerospace. See, heard the story, not the specific stock. I'm going to do some research on it. I love that. Since 1952, that should be big news. Buy XROF, he said. It'll be fun. He said, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about XROF. Makes my head hurt. Makes me want to eat candy. I went to the doctor today. Ooh-wee, the doctor should have just put me over her knee and spanked me. I felt like I was so berated by my doctor today. And I don't mean that before you all start running away with that. Didn't mean it in that way. I got to be careful what I say around VV Nation. All right. I got to go. Hey, don't forget. Thank you, Glenn. Take a vacation in LUXH. Need some insider. I'm going to have to. Hey, Mark, send me an email where these places are. Those locations are. Please. Is your doctor's name Alexa? Doctor's name. Did I deserve it? Yes, Linda. Absolutely, I did. Absolutely. She doesn't pull punches. That's why I love her as my doctor. She doesn't pull punches. She looks at me. She says, and I think she's somewhere Mediterranean. She says, Mr. Tompkins, do you just want to die? I'm like, wow, really, doc? Really? So she doesn't pull punches. She's been my doctor ever since I've been with the VA. All right, MP Materials in Vegas has a mine and just opened processing plant in Texas so they don't have to go through China. I think there's a lot more to this story, to this METC story than not. I want to take a look at it. I definitely want to take it. Glenn, I think it's time we all start fasting. If I fast, will any of you fast with me? Type a 1 or 2. If I fast, will any of you fast with me? 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right. And that's going to be, I want to see what you guys say before I leave. Joey said no quickly. Joey said no. And I figured he would. Joey said no quickly. All right. I'm going to, while you keep typing that in, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for being here, for supporting the channel. All right. And taking a time to listen to me while I try to help you out the best way I can. With that, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Right now, I'm looking at my peeps in Florida as well. A lot of rain. Just be careful down there. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks, see ya. And that, I always will. No, Martin, I always will. You probably took me off. Oh, no, he didn't. Marty, I always will. All right, I gotta go. Thank you.